This is Sunday Breakfast, and my next guest is making a bit of a name for himself on social media, challenging people to ask difficult questions about his faith and beliefs, and challenging a few stereotypes along the way. Here's a clip of him out on the streets asking people what they think he does as a job.
An accountant.
You got two chances, that's one down. No, it's not.
Comedian to lawyer.
No, I'm not. Okay, no, so I'm not. Your two guesses have gone. You know, 5 guesses each, you never guess it. A bus driver. I run a marathon and I do jiu-jitsu.
Actor.
No, I'm not. Really? No, I'm not an actor.
You are not a celebrity?
No, I'm not a celebrity.
Are you a YouTuber?
I'm not a YouTuber. You already asked that question. I'll tell you what I do. I'm actually an Imam, like a priest. Yeah. The reason why I'm 25, and I'm just doing this to show that Muslims are no one to be scared of. But have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you.
Saba Ahmedi, who is based in North East Hampshire, is also known on social media as the young Imam, and he's one of the youngest Imams in Britain. He joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning. That took me right back to some memories there. Thanks for sharing that.
That sounded like a lot of fun, but it sounded a bit scary as well, going out and doing that. You were offering to pay people £20 if they guessed your job right.
I was. I even said that I'll buy them lunch, but not to my surprise, obviously nobody guessed what I did for a living, but it was interesting. It was one heck of an experience.
So you didn't have to part with any hard cash?
No, I managed to keep my 20 notes safe in my back pocket.
Good. Tell me a bit about you then. So you're a young Imam in the Ahmadiyya branch of Islam. Did you feel a particular calling to follow this path?
Yeah, so I'm an Imam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. I gave my life for the service of religion at the age of 17. And I don't know if you call it a calling, but I think it was the prayers of my parents and my elders. And also my parents played a massive role in me making this decision when it came to it, because they take me to the mosque regularly for prayers. I was involved with the community's activities. So when I decided to give my life for the service of religion, it felt like the right thing to do, and everything fell into place. And that's basically what happened. I initially wanted to become a police officer. I had aspirations of becoming a social worker, becoming a teacher, and now, by the grace of God, I'm serving my faith, and I couldn't be happier.
I'm really glad that you're happy. I wonder at the time, was it a difficult decision to make, though?
It wasn't. Like I said, I feel like everything just fell into place at the right time. Even my friends were shocked, actually, at college, because all they had known about Islam was the 9/11 attacks. And unfortunately, they had misconceptions about Islam. And then when I said I'm becoming an Imam, and it was to do with Islam and faith, they were a bit apprehensive. But once I explained to them what an Imam does, and what you do and what Islam teaches, and the peaceful teachings of Islam, and not what they might have had, the misconceptions they might have had about Islam, it put them at ease. I'm still in touch with my friends. I've got a friend who lives in Hong Kong, and we're really good mates. And they say, look, we're really happy that you're happy, you're focused, you know what you're doing, you settle down, and you're still the same person that you were at high school and college. And for me, it's really nice to hear that.
A big part of what you do, and you mentioned it there, is trying to challenge people's preconceptions that they might have about Muslims. And as we heard, you on the streets just now, you're doing that in some pretty quirky ways. Why is that so important to you as a young person in your community?
Sure, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around Islam. There's a fear of Islam that Islam is a religion of violence and terror. But the motto of our community is love for all and hatred for none. And Islam teaches, the Holy Quran teaches, for you your religion and for me my religion. There's no compulsion of religion, and nowhere in Islam does it say to kill innocent people. As a young person, I feel like it's important to reach out, especially on social media. I feel like social media is the way forward, and I'm trying to allow people and give them a platform to ask questions, to create a platform for conversation and dialogue, and just to make people see that my life as an Imam, I'm a regular young person, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm also a Muslim, and that Muslims are nobody to be scared of, and hence why I use my YouTube platform, my Instagram platform and Twitter, and so on and so forth, to allow people to ask questions, questions which they might feel are not PC, but until we create a platform for conversation and dialogue, we're not going to be able to remove these misconceptions and in some instances fear that people have of Islam, and Islam is literally a religion of peace.
You said if your life had taken another path, you might have ended up as a police officer. I know that you have been bringing police officers together recently with a bit of a community iftar. I guess this has had to have been done in a different way. This is breaking the fast in Ramadan. There are still restrictions in place, but you have been trying to reach out to the wider community and the police, and in the middle of a very, very important month for you, Ramadan.
Sure. So the month of Ramadan is the ninth month of the Islamic calendar. Ramadan is a month, as the Holy Quran says in chapter 2, it's a month for us to become righteous and connect spiritually with our Maker, and also fasting for 30 days during this month. And rightly, as you said, we did have a collective fasting day with the Surrey Police Force. So the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association organised this wonderful event, and I was honoured to be part of this. So we gathered in the morning to close the fast at about 4 o'clock, and we had over 70 police officers who joined us for that very special moment. They then fasted, and then we opened our fast in the evening together, as you said, the iftar, at about 8 o'clock. And it was something which I'll never forget. It's the first time I've been part of something like this. Like I said, it was just fantastic, and it was nice to see so many people involved, and they said themselves they gained a lot of benefit from the fast, and that they're happy to do it again next year. So we're hopefully going to try and work with other, possibly the fire service and so on and so forth, to try and organise something like this again, because it was received so well by everyone who took part.
I went along to a community iftar event in Brighton a few years ago, but I have to say I cheated and I hadn't actually fasted, but I was very struck by that moment. So next time I'll do it properly. But what I was very struck with was that moment of coming together, and especially when the Muslim community in Brighton brought people together from all faiths and traditions and backgrounds, and just for a moment reflected on the things that we have in common, not the things that divide us.
Precisely, and that's the beauty of religion. We have so much in common that it's important to establish those common denominators, use them as foundation stones to build on, to create a community which works together and strives together for the betterment of society. So it's nice to hear that Muslim community brought people together from all different backgrounds, as the Ahmadiyya Muslim community does throughout the year. Just trying to connect with people in any way, shape or form, just to show that we are all human beings. We might have a different exterior, we might look different, but internally we all are the same. We share those common values of love, of looking after humanity, and taking care of each other.
I wonder if you can just tell me a little bit more about your mosque, because it's quite a spectacular building, isn't it, in East Hampshire, Tilford?
It is, yeah. The mosque in the headquarters of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is where the Caliph of the community resides, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. And yeah, that is the mosque there. The mosque is called Masjid Mubarak, and it's a spectacular mosque. I don't know if you've been or not, but those people who have seen it and have visited will say that it's something which takes your breath away.
So well worth a visit if you're in that neck of the woods. Finally, Saba, I know that you're a bit of a fitness fan. You've run a marathon. We heard you talking about that on the streets. Many of our local sports teams have joined the social media boycott this weekend to call for more to be done to tackle racist and other abuse online. Sporting teams, including Brighton and Hove Albion, making a stand on this. I mean, your thoughts, your response to this?
I think it's something which is an important topic. I think there's no room for racism out there. And if footballers are doing protests with the intention of reforming and highlighting the cruelties on social media, then it's a very good thing. Any peaceful event like this, which takes place for the sake of reforming or correcting injustices or cruelty, again, it's fantastic. But it's also important to note that Islam does not permit people to act violently or to break the law when it comes to protest, but these types of peaceful protests that have good intentions are definitely worthy of support.
Sabah, if people want to find out more about you and your young Imam stuff on social media, how can they do that?
So I am at the Young Imam on Twitter, YouTube and Instagram. So at the Young Imam or at www.theyoungimam.com.
Sabah Amidi, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you.